I mean, yeah, I think, even before then, I think, for us, the focus is just to play well, get the details of our game right, just work. I think when we're on a game, we're on the forecheck, we're possessing the puck in the offensive zone, difficult to defend. So I think that's kind of our focus. I mean, obviously it's nice to get points and stuff, but I think that's kind of going to be our focus and not get carried away with any of this stuff and kind of ignore the noise and just every game's a new game and you're only as good as your last game. So that's kind of our focus, yeah.
You're known for hard-working type of success, whether it's offensively or defensively. With that setup you had to Nils was a pretty skilled play in terms of how you took it with your skate, the moves you made before the pass. I mean, just is that part of your game a little underrated?
I mean, I don't know. I guess that's up to you guys to decide maybe a little bit. I think, I'd like to think I can make a play here and there and not just dump it in all the time. But, yeah, I mean, it's a great finish by him. And obviously, yeah.
Once you're 9 straight going into the break, does that allow you to enjoy the break a little bit more with the way you guys have been playing lately?
I think a little bit, yeah. Obviously, when you go into the break coming off a win and a pretty good run, I think, you're able to kind of enjoy it a little more, like you said. Just I think when things aren't going well, you tend to think about it a little bit more and maybe dwell on things and replay stuff in your head where you could have done better and all that. And I think obviously going into break on a positive mood is nice. And we had a lot of games here in this stretch, so it'd be nice to just kind of check out mentally, especially, and just get away from it and enjoy some family time and some peace and quiet, and not have to worry about being somewhere on time or whatnot, meetings and all that. So. And just come back recharged and right back
Let's
at
just start with your thoughts on the game and the overall performance from your group tonight.
I mean, it's a game where, I give a lot of credit to them. They work hard. They can frustrate you, but we hung in there. There were some moments there that we didn't like our game, but then, you hung in there. We got 7 goals and we win the game. You're happy, Merry Christmas to the guys. 3 days off. They deserve it. And that's the way I look at the game. Yeah.
Points in 9 straight for your group now, and a big key to the success has been some of the depth scoring, not just the Blueger line, but you get a goal from Oman tonight as well. Suter scores. How crucial is it to develop that, to have scoring throughout your lineup as you look forward to the second half of the season now?
Well, I think it was important because there was times where San Jose, they scored quick 2 goals, then we'd score 2. Then they made a push, and we answered the bell. Who knows if we don't answer the bell? Who knows? What could happen? So I thought. Some of the goals were really crucial at the time. It kind of put a little bit of water on there, a little bit of fire. You know what I mean? I thought, getting that other goal, the 5th goal, helped us. They goes 5-4, and then getting the 6th goal. It just seemed like we answered the bell when San Jose made the push.
It feels like that's happened quite a few times this season. What is it about this group that's been able to, punch back? It feels like at times when games start to feel like we've seen in the past slip away. This season, they seem to be able to get the punch back here.
Well, I think, I think certain lines at certain times this year really helped us. Obviously, the third line, whether right now they're playing really well. They could be playing a lot higher, in the lineup. They're just, they're that's a hell of a goal, with Garland and Dak to get us back in the game. I just feel that each line has done something this year to help us when the other teams made a push at us. 4 lines.
With a little bit of a break here, how nice is it for team morale to sit where you guys are at first in the league at this point?
Well, it's nice. You get to go home for 3 days, and I think NHL takes a break and guys can enjoy their families. We do. We definitely need a break. The guys need to get away from the rink for 3 days, and like I said, be with their families and enjoy it. And they should. And then we'll worry about when we get back the task at hand. We get obviously the second half's coming here.
There were a few mistakes that were pretty obvious. How much of them were just about being tired, having played so much hockey, as you just mentioned?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe, I could attribute it. But, like I said, these are learning lessons. When you're tired, sometimes you just got to hang in there. I think there's a stat we said before the game, expected, something about, like, on Christmas, the game's on the 23rd. The margin of it, it's like it seems like whoever wins, it's always by a large, like by 2 or 3 goals. I don't know. Dylan Crawford, a video who's telling me about it. It makes sense. It just seems like, and if you watch, it's either teams are going to win by a lot, or the teams, you could be upset. And I don't even know if I explained myself. I got to get Dylan to explain it, but it made sense to me. On the 23rd, for some reason, on the 23rd,
It sounds like
goals.
the team trailing is going to sag. Like it's just like, okay, let's go home. It's Christmas.
Exactly, and that's kind of what he said in his pre-scout. Made sense to me.
With that in mind, I mean, obviously getting
Yeah.
7 goals is a statement about, as you said, your team kept finding something, kept finding that goal.
Well, we answered anytime, like I said, at San Jose made a push. We answered with a big goal, and that's what you got to love about this game. Obviously, there's some stuff that we don't like, and we got to clean up. But for the most part, mentally, I think we were a little tired, but we hung in there to win the game.
I want to ask you about Kuzi.
Yeah.
Got the 2 early goals. There was a stretch. I think there was their 4th goal. Maybe he loses his guy, but you put him right back out there on the next shift. Just take me through that reasoning.
Yeah, I mean, listen, people make mistakes, and it's like I'm not. I got to take a look though. I'm not sure. I understand he's got to protect the back door, but I don't know if I can really. It's 100% his fault, and I just told him, I want to get him back out there. I don't want to. I want to get his confidence. He had 2 goals. He's a great kid. Like after the game, he came up to me and he apologized for a couple things. I'm like, just play. Like you don't need to apologize. Got 2 big goals for us. He almost got the 3rd on the power play. I wish he got that 3rd. That would have been really nice. But yeah, it's another building block for him.
Similar moment with Joshua. He tries to make a play on a penalty kill, and turns it over. You talk to him on the bench, and then a couple shifts later he scores. Has he kind of earned that benefit of the doubt, where you're just going to throw him back out because how well he's played?
Yeah, he's earned the rope. I mean, you guys know, 2-3 months ago, he was in whether he's in the doghouse or what, but he took it, and he's really took his game to another level. And I think he's done a nice job penalty kill. So, yeah, I mean, it was kind of a brain, the word I was going to say, but he knows, he knows why go up to a guy and tell him. He knows he made the mistake. So it's when if a guy makes 2 or 3 mistakes in a row, that's when that's when you have to kind of make people accountable.
Rick, how impressed have you been with Teddy Blueger? I mean, I'm sure you had an idea of the player that you were getting, but this is a guy that had to catch up to the rest of the team in the league after being hurt there in that final preseason game. And I know that's not easy. And, I mean, I think we all knew he had defensive chops, but clearly, like, the play that he makes on the Amon goal and just the run that he's on right now, like, as a coach, what do you appreciate about a player that doesn't get a lot of sort of fanfare?
Well, he's a team guy. He's a system guy. Sometimes he'll sacrifice his game points for the team. And he's made some big plays this last month for us. Obviously the penalty kill, he's first. He's over the bench first on us. And he had a couple of other teams' options this summer to play, and he chose us. Thank God he had a relationship with Patrick and Jim. But he's really, when Suits goes down, he fills that role. And then, you can't take him out of that role right now because that line's been great for us.
You guys are 13-3-1 in this building.
Yeah.
I know they haven't all been pretty. This one wasn't, but I mean, that's an incredible record. What do you think that means and should mean moving forward here down the stretch as you play more games that are of consequence to sort of know that there is a confidence of winning in this building?
Well, I think any good team or teams that are vying to go to the next level, you have to be good at home. Hard to play against identity, and we're still chipping away at that. Where teams come in here, there's certain buildings in the NHL, and you go in their building, it's tough to win, and we're trying to create that identity. Whether it's stingy, doesn't give up much, very, consistency, and we're still trying to strive for that. But I mean. To get to the next level, you have to have a good home record, and obviously, so far, it's been good for us.
Early in the season, it looked like Noah Juleson was struggling, maybe making some poor decisions with the puck. It seems like he's really turned his game around. I think tonight, shot attempts were something like 13-2 for the Canucks when he was on the ice at 5-on-5. What have you seen in the maturation of his game and how he's kind of turned things around this season?
Yeah, he really struggled early. I got to give him a lot of credit because he's really worked with Sergey and Footy on positions, puck decisions. And he sat. I don't know how many times what he said out about 7 games in a row. He didn't play, and he just worked and worked. I mean, I have a lot of. I got a soft spot for those type of players because he didn't pout. He didn't. He came to work every day, and if you watch his positioning, it's just a credit where we want him to be, and it's almost like he goes to the areas that you want him to go. And his puck decisions have been really, to me, have been really good. I thought he was probably our best defenseman tonight in a sense of just calmness. So yeah, he's been a really, especially the last 13, 14 games, just a guy that you can rely on, and he's not afraid to block a shot. I mean, the guy's got a lot of courage. So yeah, good for him. I mean, he's chipping away at his game. Really, he really is.
And going back to those Pittsburgh Cup teams that you were a part of in 2016 and 17, a big part of the success of those teams and the excitement was that third line, that HBK line.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you see parallels between what that group brought to Pittsburgh and what this third line is doing right now.
Well, I mean, sometimes the third line gets, they get some matchups because, they might get the 5-6 of another team, and when a third line, that the way they're playing, they could take advantage of that. So that's really what happened with that line in those 2 Cup years. They really took advantage of the 5th, 6th defenseman, and most teams had matchup problems. And right now, there's some teams that are having some time. They're giving them fits, and I think that's a good comparison. But let's wait till if we make the playoffs. I mean. I don't even want to talk about the playoffs, but yeah. But no, listen. I get it because they're playing so well. There's matchup problems with the other team. Yes.